What's up, guys? Lone Driver Mike again, bringing you another video. Guys, how's it going? Recent updates, just to give you guys just a few updates. I haven't made a video in the last 3 weeks. My last video was very good. I believe it's gonna really get up there. I mean, it's only been like 3 weeks. It has like over 400 views. I talk about running multiple apps at one time. So that's how I make a lot of money, like doing these food delivery apps, like delivering food. I do Doordash, Uber Eats, Caviar, and Grubhub. That's my newest delivery app is Grubhub. I've been doing that for the last few months. And if I had to choose one delivery app, it would have to be Grubhub. They're pretty good. The pay's very good. They tell you up front what the pay is, what the tip is exactly. Now, certain apps, they don't tell you what the tip is or what the pay is or anything. You know, they just say, oh, like Doordash, they give you a guaranteed amount of $6. And what people don't understand now is that, like, a lot of times customers will tip on the app. So that $6, believe it or not, is part of your tip. And people get confused, and people don't understand how DoorDash works. Now, back in the day, this was like over a year ago, or more than a year, like maybe a year and a few months ago. It used to be a flat $5. Now, some people didn't like that because if you didn't get a tip, then it would be the $0 for tip plus $5 pay, which would be $5. But many times people would tip, generally speaking. So on average, you would make some decent money back in the day. Nowadays, they include your tip part of the delivery pay. So they use that against you. So I've tried to explain that in a few other videos, and some people, they still don't understand. But if you don't believe what I'm saying, there's a way to check your DoorDash earnings. Now, it can be time consuming. So if you really care about your tips and how much you're making per order, and you know, if you're like a stats kind of guy, like I'm kind of a stats guy. So I mean, I'm always checking my tips. I'm always like checking my earnings. Like if I do 2 or 3 hours, even 4 hours, even 1 hour, I go back and I see how I'm doing. Am I averaging at least $20 an hour? Or at least $15 an hour? How am I doing? And if I'm not doing good, maybe I'll turn on another app. Maybe I'll go move to a different area or zone. So that's just me though. So if you don't believe what I'm saying, what you can do is on your DoorDash app is after every order. Now people get confused, like, oh, if you get on a dash, can you like end it and then get back on? In my area, it's red all day. So what that means is you can literally hop back on if you decide to end your dash, which is like basically ending your shift. Once you do that, you won't be able to get no more orders. But if it's red still, you can get right back on. You just click it, click the area, go online, and then you choose a time when you want to stop. And then people also ask me, or I'm also in like these Facebook groups, and really, I mean, not Facebook, but DoorDash and like Postmates and all these apps, they don't really give you like training, and they don't explain a lot of things. So I do a lot of research, and I just know these things from personal experiences. I've been doing food delivery for 3 years. I've also been doing Uber and Lyft. So I mean, I really find out, like, I also order as a customer too. Like I'll order, like I've ordered from DoorDash as a customer, I've ordered from Grubhub as a customer, I've ordered from Postmates as a customer. So I have a lot of knowledge, and I just know a lot of things in general. And a lot of people, they assume things, so they think they know how it is, or they think they know you know, how the pay works, but they really don't. Like I'll have a lot of new drivers, and they'll tell me like, oh, Postmates is not that strict, and I'm laughing. I'm like, Postmates is one of the strictest apps out there. I mean, I know a lot of people that got deactivated from them. I mean, you have to have a 4.7 or higher. That's extremely strict, believe it or not. DoorDash, you only need a 4.5 to be active. So it's funny because I see people like overreacting over their DoorDash ratings because it moves a lot, and they can view that. Postmates, you can also view your rating as well, but it's a little bit more difficult to see because it's in the I think it's called the dashboard. I don't do Postmates anymore because the page is so bad, but you can find your Postmates rating in your dashboard. It's called your dashboard or something. It's in the app. It's there. And a lot of people tell me, they're like, I don't see my rating. And it's like, it's there, dude. You know what I'm saying? And it can be frustrating when you're trying to help people out. But, you know, this is like my passion. I love helping people. Like, if I can help you make more money, or even like give you knowledge that you don't know, like from before, then I mean, I'm doing my job. I made this channel for you guys, for drivers, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, Doordash, Postmates, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Caviar, because I have all this knowledge, so I want to give it to you guys. I've been doing this a long time, over 3 years. So I mean, you know, I try to give advice and I try to help you guys out the best I can. But the reason why I made this video is to explain, to give you guys advice, like new drivers. This is for new drivers mostly. And when I say new drivers, I'm talking like 100 orders or less. Or, you know, they can go 200 orders or less. I mean, a lot of people, they just go out and work and they, you know, they do DoorDash. They're like, oh, I made 50, it's good. But they don't know like how much of that is tip, how much of that is delivery pay. Or, you know, they just don't understand how tips work, or they don't understand how the pay works. And I try to explain that in a lot of my older videos. So if you are new to DoorDashing or Postmates or Uber Eats, Caviar, Grubhub, I have videos on all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't subscribed already, please like this video. Please comment, please subscribe. Tell me, guys, tell me what you're thinking. I need new ideas for new videos. I have 2 others lined up coming up in the next few days, so I'll be good on ideas. But if you want to throw your thing out, you want to throw your opinion out there, you're like, hey Mike, make a video about this. And I mean, I might even have a video about it already. So guys, I highly suggest you to subscribe to my channel. Look at my other videos. I have about 140 videos, all on Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, food delivery, rideshare. So I've made a lot of videos, and I know what I'm talking about. So anyways, let me get back to the video. So this video is about advice for new drivers. So now if you're a new driver, you're probably wondering like, okay, when do you start, when do you stop, when do you, you know, how do you make a lot of money and all this kind of stuff. And how I do it is I stay in a specific zone. Now, some DoorDash drivers, you can make decent money with DoorDash, but the thing is, a lot of times you'll be driving a lot of miles. So that's your prerogative. Like, if you want to accept an order for 10 miles and it's $8, and if you're in your mind you're thinking that's good, then do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to tell you not to do that. But in my personal experience, if it's not $1 a mile, so if you're going, if the app will tell you how many miles you're going. So that's cool about DoorDash. So it's telling you you're going to go 10 miles. So what that means is it's 10 miles total from the pickup to the drop off. So that's grand total of once you start the order to ending the order, that's the total miles. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, from the restaurant to the house. No, it's calculating all the miles. So that's good. So it gives you an idea of how far, how many miles you're driving. So if I got an order for like 10 miles, if it's not at least $10, guys, I wouldn't take it. Just because you got to factor in your gas, your time. You really want to make at least $15 an hour. And a lot of people are just like, hey, I get an order, I'm just going to take it. And I just don't care what the pay is. I'm just gonna accept every order because I don't want to mess up my acceptance rating, and people are scared and all this kind of stuff. Guys, let me tell you, acceptance rating does not matter. It doesn't matter which app. Even with Grubhub, you know, and they offer like these bonuses and all this kind of stuff. If it's not worth it to me, with all due respect, we are independent contractors. So if you don't want to take it, you don't have to take it. So just be worry-free about that, okay? You do not have to accept every order. Now, if there's like a bonus, like DoorDash say, oh, if you want $5 per order, some areas are pretty big. Like the Bay Area, sometimes they offer $6-7 per order. You know what I'm saying? But the trick is you got to accept 80% of the orders. So that's the thing. Like, you're gonna have to accept a lot of the orders to get that bonus. But with the bonus, it's supposed to average out. You're supposed to do pretty good. So that's up to you. Like with Grubhub, you get an hourly bonus. You get an hourly bonus. You know what I'm saying? So for the hourly bonus, most areas that offer you like $10 or $11 per hour. Some areas it's $15. My area is only $11 per hour. So I can either opt into the $11 per hour, or I can do my own thing and pick and choose my orders. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I'll make more than $11 per hour on my own, just doing my own thing, accepting orders, canceling orders. With my Grubhub, I'm only at 25% average acceptance rating. So when I receive about 10 orders, out of those 10 orders, I'll probably only accept 2 or 3 orders, because to me it's just not worth it. Some orders are not worth it. Sometimes they offer me with Grubhub, sometimes they offer me $3, $4, $5, and I look, they don't tell you the miles, but they show you the distance. So you can, if you know your town and your city and you know time and distance and all that, you should know, okay, this is far. This looks like 10 miles. I'm not going to do it. 10 miles for $3, not worth it. That means they didn't tip. Now, a lot of times, Grubhub Pay, it's about $3 to $4, sometimes $3 to $5 per order, roughly. Depends on the distance, time. Now, you think that's kind of low, but a lot of times people will tip on Grubhub, and then you get to see what kind of tip you got. That's the cool thing. You'll get to see exactly how much they tip. So not only you know what... Watch out, dude. What a fucking ass. The guy, he almost hit me. He looked this way. He didn't look straight that I was turning. I had my turn light on. You see what I'm talking about? But anyway, sorry. But yeah, with Grubhub, the pay's pretty good. Only because the tips come in. I've gotten some pretty big payouts. Like I've gotten $20 to $27 tip on the app. You know what I'm saying? So my biggest payout was like $30. Because a lot of times with Grubhub, they'll force the customer to tip before they, press okay, deliver the order. So many times you'll actually get your tip. They have to tip you once they place the order. Now, some apps they make you tip after the order, like Postmates, they make you tip after the order. Uber Eats, they make you tip after the order. But some apps make you tip before the order, like Caviar. See, Caviar, it's both. The customer can tip before the order or after the order. That's why I like Caviar a little slightly better. But in the long run, I make a little bit more with Grubhub. So Grubhub is my main app. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, don't overload yourself with a lot of apps. Just because, you wanna be set up to where, okay, I'm doing Doordash. I did 100 orders. My rating's over 4.5. I'm comfortable. I'm okay now. I can handle it. And then add another app. Add Uber Eats. I always put my links below. I have Grubhub used to have a link. They don't do it no more. Grubhub, they limit the drivers in each market. So many times, it took me about 2 years to get on with Grubhub. So that's how strict they are. And that's kind of good because you don't want too many drivers out there. Like with Doordash, if you apply for Doordash, you'll get hired within the week or two. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't have a DUI. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, it's good for the drivers, but then it's bad for the drivers because then there's too many drivers on the road. And then like, sometimes you don't get that many orders. So it just depends. But with Grubhub, I can get on and make at least $100 a day with Grubhub. Just Grubhub. Now, if I did Grubhub all day, strictly Grubhub, I can easily make $200. That's how busy they are. But I decline orders, and I also do Caviar and Uber Eats and Doordash. But see, I'm what they called grandfathered in. So what that means is basically once you do enough orders, I'm not saying they don't care if you fuck up or if you're late or whatever. In my previous video, I do talk about that. But I'll say something real quick. The two most strictest apps out there is Caviar and Postmates. Now, there are going to be some people that disagree with me, and that's fine. You can disagree with me, but with all due respect, I've been doing this over 3 years. I know what I'm talking about. I've gotten warnings from Caviar. I've gotten warnings from Postmates, and they're just very strict in general. If you're late, you know, the rating system. With Caviar, if you're late too many times, they'll just fire you. You're done. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. You're done. Postmates, you need a 4.7 or higher. Once you're below that threshold, for the most part, you're done. It also depends on Postmates' discretion. Sometimes I've had people where, you know, they're sitting at a 4.5 for a while, and I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. But then shortly after, within the month, they're done. Because, I mean, I think Postmates, maybe they're slightly less strict now, but for the most part, the rating is still 4.7, guys. So if you fall below that 4.7 and you're below that for a few weeks, you might as well kiss Postmates goodbye, because that's how strict they are. So, you know, you can sit here and talk to me about Doordash and how there's a rating system. But guys, with Doordash, they actually give you a chance. And not only that, the only rating that matters is the customer rating. And you need a 4.5. So that's a lot lower than 4.7. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot harder to get fired off of Doordash than it is Postmates. And it's a lot harder to get fired off Doordash than it is Caviar. Caviar and Postmates is very strict. Grubhub is not as strict. Now, once you start, Uber Eats is not as strict, but they are strict when you first start. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about, being grandfathered in. Before you start being late to orders or running multiple apps or whatever, you want to try the best you can to get a high rating, to get established with that app. Make sure you're grandfathered in before you start accepting more than one order. I can do that because I'm grandfathered in. And it's just kind of like anything. Like you start a job, right? You're on a 3-month probation. I mean, that's how it is. They want to see if you're coming in late or on time or whatever. Okay, the boss likes you. You're showing up to your shifts. Whoa, look out. Showing up to your shifts. You're not being late. You're not messing up, making mistakes. And then once you're over that probation period, now with these delivery apps, it's about 100 orders. I do about 20 to 30 orders a day, just because I do this full time and I work all day. I work about 12 hours. So that's just me though. Like, I've had people that actually signed up with Doordash and used my code, and like, they can't even do 100 orders in 1 month. And 1 month is extremely loose. I mean, this should be very easy to hit 25 orders a week. So it's very frustrating when I see people and they complain about money, you know what I'm saying? The money's out there. When you are a Doordash driver, Lyft driver, Uber driver, Caviar, Uber Eats, Postmates, when you have these apps to your advantage, if you have them all going for you, there's no excuse. I mean, I'm sorry, you can complain about, oh, it's slow. With all due respect, that's a load of bullshit. I mean, maybe it does depend on your location and everything, and your market. What is this lady doing? But you got to run multiple apps. Let's just say, for example, Doordash. Let's just say, for example, Doordash is slow. Okay, so what? Turn on Postmates. I mean, you know, it's very rare that all the apps are slow. It's rare. But even then, you will have slower days. But even when I'm out here for 12 hours and I have 4 apps running, or I can possibly have 4 apps running, I usually have 2 at first, and if it's slow, I'll turn on another one. I usually turn on Grubhub first, then Caviar, and I'll run those two. And just with those two, I could make good money. I don't even need DoorDash. And people are like, whoa, I thought DoorDash was king. I thought DoorDash is, oh, this and that. Grubhub is king. Grubhub will keep you busy. I'm not fucking around. I'll literally get about 40 requests, at least on average, 40 requests, like 40 orders. That doesn't mean I accept all of them. That just means that I receive 40 orders a day, roughly 40 to 50. And out of those, I'll accept anywhere from 20 to maybe 40%, maybe. It's more likely I accept around 30. My acceptance rating is about 30%. And just to let you guys know, Grubhub, they're not gonna fire you over that, okay? I know they talk about scheduling and oh, you want the $11 an hour. You don't have to opt in for that. You really don't. You could just hop on and you start getting orders, and if it's something that you don't want to take, then just decline it. You cannot get in trouble. Same with DoorDash. Same with Postmates, same with Uber Eats. You cannot get in trouble. You know, if you get an order and it's something that you don't want to do, oh, it's too far away, it's the next town over, or it's the next community over, or it's 10 miles out of my area, you know, I don't want to leave this area. You know, and you're like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble, I'll accept it. You do not have to accept it. I've tried to explain this to people many times, and there's a lot of confusion because it's not really explained in like, I mean, actually it is explained in the DoorDash website, but people don't read it and they don't, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool. That's why I'm here to help you guys out. Yeah, so it's very important to get grandfathered in. So before you start, you know, applying for this company and that company and all this kind of stuff, take your time. I mean, you can do a DoorDash and a Postmates, or a DoorDash and a Grubhub, or you could start off with 2. I'm waiting for you guys. But make sure you're grandfathered in, because with Uber Eats, they can be strict actually. But it's only for the first 100 orders. Once you're over 100 orders, you're grandfathered in. Because I've done my first 100 orders and I've gotten a few warnings and I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I was late or something, or I canceled an order, and I had the food but I dropped it. And they don't like that. But once you're grandfathered in, you're fine. You can be late, you can miss items, you know, you can get bad reports, whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you have about 100 orders, you're fine. But before 100 orders, they watch you very carefully. I mean, they really do. So any bad reports, you're late, you're missing an item, you know, let's say you picked up an order and then you decided to cancel it, or you dropped the food, you know, they do look at that. But it's just for the first 100 orders. I've been with Uber Eats for over a year now. I've been late, I've missed items, I've made mistakes, I got a few bad reports. One said I didn't show up to the door. I don't know what that was about. I mean, I always show up to the door unless they're outside, or unless I couldn't find the house, then I would call them up. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. So, you know, you get reports over the years or the months, but they fall off eventually. I think after 3 months they fall off. So don't worry. I know people complain and they're like, I don't want to get a bad report on Uber Eats, and it's like, believe me, it's not it. It's not, you're not going to get in trouble, okay? The only thing they worry about is your first 100 orders. Once you do your first 100 orders and you're on time and you're not missing items and you're all good, you get thumbs up. See, you also get the thumbs up or thumbs down with Uber Eats. And you also get thumbs up with the restaurant too. So when you go into the restaurant, make sure you're smiling, you're nice, you're not like, if you're having to wait a while. Oh, and that's another thing. Uber Eats pays for wait time now. Yes, that's going to actually be my next video. Guys, many people think, oh, Uber Eats sucks. Actually, Uber Eats is really good now. They pay for you to wait. So it's very actually, it's much more profitable than it used to be. Just let me tell you that. But I'll explain more in my next video. But yeah, long story short, Uber Eats does pay for wait time. So if you're waiting at the restaurant and you're getting pissed, you get paid for all those minutes. And it's a lot more. Long story short is, the pay structure now on Uber Eats is a lot better than the old pay structure, because you get to wait now and you get paid for it. And some apps like Doordash, you don't get paid to wait. So I used to say DoorDash was better than Uber Eats, but I'm sorry to say this. Now I'm going to change my mind. Uber Eats is better than DoorDash, because you get paid to wait. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, when you start with DoorDash, Uber Eats, Caviar, whatever app, just before your first 100 orders, make sure you're on time. You're getting there. Check the items. When you deliver the food, always smile. People say, "Oh, why did I get bad ratings?" and all that. Sometimes it's just your attitude, and you might not be in a bad mood, but you're not necessarily in a good mood. I had one time, I picked up a Uber customer. This was a while back, and I wasn't upset or anything, but I wasn't like smiling. And she's like, "Whoa, are you in a bad mood?" And she like kind of freaked out. I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just waiting for you. No big deal. Nothing's wrong." But she ended up giving me a bad rating, and she wrote on the thing. I think it was Lyft, actually. I don't know, because in the thing it said, remember to smile" or something. I'm like, "Oh, okay." But she only gave me, I think it was 4 stars. It wasn't like anything. It wasn't like a 1 star or anything. But let me tell you, your personality and the way you come off actually really matters. So I mean, I try to dress nice. I try to look good, and I'm always smiling. Like I'm just smiling. When I deliver them, I'm smiling. They answer the door, "Hey, John," or "Hey." Sometimes I'll call them by their name. "Hey, are you Jessica?" "Yeah." "Oh, hey, how's it going?" "Yeah, good." "Oh, cool. All right. Well, here's your food." "Yep. Have a good day." Just kind of communicate a little bit, talk a little bit, but smile. Smile. Be nice. Be polite. Check the items. Make sure nothing is missing. Sometimes you want to grab, like, let's say it's Mexican food, you want to grab them some chips and salsa if it's free, utensils, napkins. Let's say you get a pizza order, make sure to grab cheese, peppers, plates, napkins. Most pizza companies, they'll provide that for you. You just got to ask for it. They're not going to give it to you. So ask, and actually 99% they're going to give you that. They're going to give you plates and napkins and cheese, peppers, and all that. So just make sure all the items are there. You're on time. You get extra utensils, napkins, plates. Sometimes, let's say you're at Taco Bell. If they don't ask for hot sauce, get them something anyways. Get hot, mild, fire. Get them a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? Let's say they get a burger, they get McDonald's. Ask for some ketchup. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I never get my ketchup with Uber Eats. And that I do love my ketchup, you know what I'm saying? So if you're dropping off at McDonald's, ask for ketchup, pizza, cheese, peppers, napkins, utensils, and just make sure you're on time. Do the best you can. And if you do happen to be late because the restaurant's backed up, go ahead and call your customer, or better yet, just text them, because a lot of times you call them up, they don't pick up. It's a number they don't know. It's better you just text them real quick. "Hey, this is Mike from Uber Eats. This is Mike from Grubhub. This is Mike from Postmates. This is Mike from DoorDash," or whatever company you're working for. Let them know your name, who you're working for. Let them know you're the delivery driver. It goes a long ways, introducing yourself, and just let them know, "Hey, I'm stuck at the restaurant. The restaurant's a little bit behind. I apologize. I just wanted to apologize in advance and just let you know I might be late." So just letting you know. And just saying those words, just, be a little bit professional. Don't be like, "Hey, it's Mike, I'm going to be late." Explain yourself. Explain who you are. You know what I'm saying? It goes a long ways. You might have to text, a few extra seconds to write out a decent message to your customer. But actually, it does go a long ways, and that's just customer service. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, any problems? Let's say they ran out of guacamole. Like recently, they've been running out of avocados or something going on, and people keep asking for guacamole with their order. And I'm just like, "Hey, I'm sorry, they didn't have guacamole, so I got you salsa instead." And sometimes I'll just say that when I get there at the customer's house, but actually you should text them before, just in case they're like, well, can I get like sour cream instead, or well, can I just get a side of nacho cheese instead of the guacamole? Just let them know in advance if something's missing, or if they ran out of an item or something. What kind of substitution would you want? Oh, we don't have chicken. What about pork? You know what I'm saying? Always text the customer if there's a problem. Let them know if you're late. Check the items. Make sure everything's there. Get utensils, napkins, sauces, whatever they need for their order. And make sure you're on time. You're not late. And once you get to the customer's house, like I said, smile, be nice, be a little bit friendly, communicate a little bit. Hey, how are you doing? You know, just something quick. You know, they can respond back. And then sometimes they'll tip you cash. Sometimes they'll say, oh, I'll tip you on the app. Sometimes they just won't say nothing. Maybe they tipped, maybe they didn't, or whatever. Tip is optional, so you can't ask for tips. You can't do nothing like that. So, you know, that's just how that is. You know what I'm saying? But once you get over 100 orders, then you can say, okay, cool, I want to integrate Uber Eats. I want to integrate Doordash. And some people ask me, Mike, how do you run 4 apps at once? And in my previous video, I do talk about that. But long story short, you really don't want to, even though you're grandfathered in with Postmates and Caviar, you can still get fired. You can still get fired from DoorDash, but they're a lot less strict. As well as Grubhub. You could be late on a Grubhub. Nothing's gonna happen. You don't get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get a phone call from Grubhub and they're asking what's up, and you say, oh, whatever, oh, the restaurant's backed up, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So seriously, I don't think they track you or anything, but some apps do. But technically, as far as I'm concerned, Grubhub, they don't track you or anything like that. So, and anyways, like I said, you're late. But anyways, make sure you get your first 100 orders first. Make sure you're grandfathered in. Then you can start accepting multiple orders. Last night I had 4 orders at once. So I mean, I just went according to who's more strict and who's less strict. Postmates is more strict. Caviar is more strict, so you want to get those done because you're late. You're gonna get in trouble. You don't want to be late on a Postmates because the rating system is very strict. And you don't want to be late to a Caviar because they'll actually mark you down and they'll call you up, they'll text you. Last year I was late to an order, or I was taking multiple orders or something, and I decided to do my DoorDash first because I thought DoorDash is more important. Was I dead wrong? I got a phone call from Caviar saying, where the hell are you going? I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I had a DoorDash first. I was going to do that first. And he said, with all due respect, sir, that this is a breach of your contract. We're pretty strict here at Caviar. So, so if you don't want to lose your Caviar account, you better make sure you always do Caviar first, And he said something about DoorDash is less strict, believe me. He said something along those lines. But then he just said, you should be, Caviar, we pay good. And, what I'm saying, we're always going to give you orders. But if you're going to be late and you're going to be messing around, you're going to be done. So that was a lesson learned. Same with Postmates. They gave me a few warnings for being late. I got a few bad ratings. And they gave me a few warnings about